Ma'am, can you able to hear the voice of Dr. Chandra?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Akshay Lakshmi, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir.
Yes, please. Can you please introduce the speaker? I think Dr. Chandra has some problem.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Uh, Good evening, all. Thank you for the opportunity, Suresh, sir. I'm really glad to introduce our speaker for the day, Dr. P. Mohana, ma'am. She's currently heading the Department of HRM, PG, and also she is an alumni of Mera School of Social Work. She has been serving as a visiting professor for the PGDM program, and the highlights of her career will be that she has as a faculty secretary in Board of Studies and member secretary in academic at MSSW, and she has also cleared NET exam in June 2008, and she has completed an e-learning certificate course on MS Office offered by Tata's team, and she has participated in various workshops, seminars, and conferences, and has presented a lot of papers in national and international conferences. And she's an eminent person to be joining here for this session. Thank you so much for joining here, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. So, a very, welcome and good evening to one and all present here. So, at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Suresh and Dr. Shri from Madras School of Social Work and the organizing team for giving me this opportunity to present today. So, let me begin my session. The screen is shared.
Yes. Not yet, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it is visible, ma'am. You can continue, ma'am.
Ma'am, we couldn't hear you, ma'am.
Can I continue? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is audible.
Now
Ma'am.
it is audible, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, please unmute your audio. Unmute your audio, ma'am.
Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, audio is not there, ma'am. Now, can you please stop, ma'am? Ma'am, I think you sign in two devices, ma'am. We cannot able to hear you. Um, Ma'am,
Hello.
you can, yes, ma'am.
I will just share the screen alone in my this
Yes,
PPT.
yes, ma'am. Please do share, ma'am.
Sure, can you hear me now?
Yes, Dr. Chandra. Yes, now it is okay. Clear.
I just logged out and then I've logged in, sir.
Okay. Maybe the network problem.
Just 2 minutes, sir. The laptop is taking time to share
Okay,
the.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. No issues, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Take your own time.
Shared. I'll continue, sir. You're able to hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Now we can able to see your screen as well as your audio, ma'am.
Yeah. I'll continue. Oh, sorry for the technical glitches. Fine. So today's session, we are going to cover what is employee wellness. Hope the audience must be well aware about what is wellness and the various dimensions which come under this broad umbrella. And I'm going to take you to the journey of, uh, um, wellness in the context of HR. Like if you the HR professionals, how are we going to take this employee wellness of organization as well as how does it as well. So in two parameters, we are going to see how this wellness is going to, impact the workplace as such when it comes to organizing. So in the to give you some information which some of you may or may not be aware about it, have a hope that you will really enjoy my session. The first so the which talk about different the workforce in India, especially you find that there is a growing trend in terms aspect. You find large number of workforce are suffering from obesity, hypertension, then heart attack, and any number of diseases to name. All these are related to. It talks about the physical health condition of an employee and how far they are taking care in the personal life. So almost in the age of the or uh, uh, due to which 7% over the next 10 years. See, all these reports and surveys giving a signal or which is an alarming to lot of employees, the organization, as in how they're going to impact the workplace and in what way it is going to impact the employee in the in order to cope with employee health. So when probably because of poor style choices which they have taken up, workforce them engaged in long working hours. We don't find people staying on to 9 to 5 job or neither or a part-time job. So we see people are engaging for a longer time, though we say it is mentioned in the spend more of time either at workplace, if not at of home. You find people sitting in front of laptop and doing the work, and some of the reasons may be due to the lifestyle and sedentary eating habits. Just because you're working too much in front of computers and sitting and working, you're not doing the regular you're not doing the and we also find the current generations are experiencing more stress compared to what we have experienced in the past, because in the past we say that we have our families because most of them belong to joint family scenario, where if at all you had any stress, when you go home, when you share with your family members, you tend to, or when you see a family member, it you will get relaxation at some point of time, and it is not carried away the next day. But today most of them are in the nuclear family, and we hardly find each other in the same time. Like if and so tend to this book professional, all these are contributing to different sorts of diseases. And so when it comes to I again look back to some time back where organization use it for for every year matters a lot. How do they measure this productivity? It's purely based on employees' performance. So when you tend to contribute more, is doing well at the same time, it tends to grow. But that productivity, it's purely based on employee which the employees had some 10 years back or 20 years back. So we any of the organization on initiatives that tends to improve physical health of the employee, wherein you conduct lot of health camps, you conduct lot of medical screenings, you do lot of tests, you help them take up medical policies and claim and safe. Obviously that is directly going to contribute to the productivity of the organization. But in today's generation, it is no longer the physical health will contribute to the productive factor. We also take into consideration the mental aspect. So that's why employees are mentally or just physically. Studies, you can find that a happy employee is considered to be a productive employee in today. So you organizations, most of the around more than 50% of unhappy or less productive employees. That's because they are not focusing on the mental health. They just focus on the physical health aspect alone. So if you want your employee, you need to ensure both their physical as well as mental health has to be taken care. That's productive than the workforce. So as a HR, so you need to ensure into health alone. In lots of organization, the health campaign, health awareness activities, and the wellness programs has been gaining a significant importance or momentum in the organization as well as among folks. So this is because we say that people are working and they spend more the time in the organization. We say that we conduct a lot of programs wherein they feel happy and they stay healthy and all, but the is how do we ensure whether they are staying happy and they stay healthy? So we need to creating an environment in which employees are able to improve their mental health. How do we do it? We need to create a culture. So your organization has to promote a culture, not just conducting an activity alone or an awareness camp. So you need to create a culture which promotes a policy or an activity that will improve or take care of your employees' health. So when I talk about this wellness, so there are few companies which comes to my mind that relates to both physical and mental health aspect. So how far they are taking care of employees. So when it comes to mental health, we find 3 companies and much more are there. So here I have given 3 companies which have followed health policy that focus both on physical and mental health. So here an example given is Urban Clap. Hope everyone remembers the Urban company, which has announced a scheme in their organization wherein the employees can take unlimited sick leave. So normally if you take into consideration any organization, they have a stipulated leave, especially which talks for medical sick or a casual leave or a earned leave. So under the category of medical or sick leave, you have only a limited number of days wherein an employee can be allowed to take. But here we find the promote employee end of holidays, that is unlimited holidays for them if they are suffering from any mental or physical illness. And especially now COVID scenario, we find large number of workforce needs to the period plus the recovering time, whatever the day stipulated by the doctor or the medical agency, they need to follow those number of days. So it's a paid leave provided by the organization, which a policy. Another company called PayU, again it's a wonderful example where they just not provide leave alone, they also encourage their employees to take up counseling services. So this service has been functioning 24 hours per day. So you find that people are really happy or really they are sad or really they are into some issues or any problems. So all these they make sure it is being taken care. And big giants like PepsiCo, PwC, etc., they are also allowing their employees take a weekend holiday or a special time to relax, to make sure you free from all those physical as well as the mental disturbances. So these companies insist mental health as well as physical health. Now upon repeat a word called wellness. When I talk about wellness, it only pertains to physical health, not taking into consideration the mental health aspect. All these wellness programs only aims to focus on the physical health. So here the example given is Expedia. It's a global travel company. You find that this particular company is providing an allowance specially for this wellness. Like every employee is eligible to get a certain amount to take care of their physical health. So this company is good at this wellness allowance. And there is another company called Netflix. Everyone is aware about this popular online TV platform. This company not just gives holiday, it also says that you need not have to bother about your work. Like say typically if I want to take leave, if I am going on leave for a longer period, obviously what comes to my mind is who will take care of my work. So as an employee, that will be bothering me compared to taking leave. But Netflix promotes employee a paid holiday or a sickness leave apart from taking care of your work. They allocate your work. They ensure that you need not have to think about it. So that's when people feel happy. They stay happy. They feel relaxed at home while enjoying their sickness leave. And there's another company, Airbnb, also follows the same kind of style as Netflix, in which the employee experience a very good um, wellness policy in their organization. So these were the three companies which talks about employee wellness. Now I was trying to tell you two important dimensions of wellness, one with regard to physical and mental. So when it comes to organization perspective, many of the organization considers their employees as their asset. For an organization, the employees are wealth. So if you want to retain that wealth, they need to take care of their health. So when we say health of the employees, what comes to their mind? The physical. So in today's organization, they're not just taking the physical health alone, they also focus on the mental health. They consider mental health is very much equivalent compared to physical health. So both are equivalently considered in 2021. I would love to share a story which focuses on the mental health of the employees. Uh, Louise Hay, I think most of you must have been aware about the story of Louise Hay. She is a cancer survivor and she has written a book about her past experience, how she has come over from this cancer. And in her book you must have read there are a lot of diseases which she has narrated that basically come out of or express because of your mental illness. So when you have some kind of sickness, mental sickness, that is going to be expressed in the form of physical disorders. So it is always good that we treat this mental disorders or mental illness before we start working on the physical health. So I think if you read this book, it's a mind-blowing story, and she has given a lot of thoughts and values with regard to how to overcome the mental challenges and the various kind of illness. So if you read this book, probably you will get benefit out of it. Now, moving on to another important area in the wellness is employee well-being. So from the beginning, I kept talking about employee wellness, which focus on the physical health of the employees. But suddenly you find many of the organization has shifted from wellness to the concept called well-being. No longer we are sticking on to the aspect called wellness. We go beyond and we discuss about another area called as employee well-being. So this is the mantra or the buzzword which is used in lot of organization, especially by the HR professionals today. So you might wonder, what is well-being? Yes, well-being is nothing but it is a comprehensive term which describes physical, mental, social, emotional, spiritual, and occupational well-being of the individual. So it is much more than wellness. In wellness, you talk about just how good you are. What is your eating habits? What is your ergonomic style? What is your the current health conditions? But when we talk about well-being, it is beyond it. That is, you are able to link your well-being with the productivity. You are able to link the well-being with the level of engagement, with the level of the experience you share in the organization. So you try to project your happiness through this well-being. So let's see how this well-being is taken care in the organization. So I'm going to share two experiences shared by two companies. So one of the experience shared by Tata Group, I think very recently you would have gone through an article which says that Ratan Tata, who's the the pillar of the Tata Group, has traveled all the way to Pune to see his ex-employee. So this gentleman, uh, he is just not seen that wellness is very important to the employee. He has gone beyond and seen how far his employees are are happy and stayed healthy. So he went straight to the the ex-employee's home and inquired how how is he and what is his current status. Does he require anything from the organization? So you can find how much magnanimous he is and how far he's taking care of his employee. So that is all about well-being. And that's why we find even in a group of companies like TCS, it's yet another company which comes under Tata Group, where we see many of their employees are not being downsized during this COVID scenario. And you find a lot of incentives, bonuses, and perks have been issued to their employees to promote a very good well-being. So you find this particular organization really playing a very good role, not just saying that wellness needs to be taken care, but they have taken one step, you know, ahead in promoting the employee well-being. I would also like to share another example with regard to employee well-being. Hope everyone knew about a company called Google, which is a very good paymaster and one of the best companies to work as per Fortune magazine report. So we find this particular company is very creative, gives lot of autonomy to the employee, and one of the best place to work. Why do we say like that? Because this company not just provide the best facility, it also creates an environment, it creates a culture that promotes the well-being of the individual. So it takes care each and every person working in Google are staying happy, are staying healthy, are staying good, are feeling happy. So that's how you find more number of workforce at Google are highly productive, highly contributing to the revenue of the organization. So you can typically find in this picture how they are placed, how their work setup is being built, the way they are interacting and working. The workspace is created in such a way that people work very happily, and the atmosphere and the policy promotes such type of conducive environment for them to take care of their health aspect. So thus, in a nutshell, we can say an healthy employee can benefit the organization in n number of ways. How? That is through productivity, by increasing the morale, by increasing the retention rate, reducing the cost factor which is spent on the health and insurance, and then reducing the absenteeism rates. So in a nutshell, if you take care of the well-being of the individual, well-being of the entire workforce, it means that you're taking care of the organization as such. So we call this concept as a win-win situation for both employer as well as the employee. I hope you must have heard or found some of the strategies, which are adopted in most of the organizations, like following uh, yoga or meditation at workplace, um, then engaging employees in different fun-based activities like games, dance, different types of competitions, appreciating each other, recognizing your employee for coming on time or eating on time, maintaining their fitness. For different things you have n number of policies in place. But what I would like to stress upon is just not focusing on the wellness programs alone. You need to go one step ahead and focus on implementing the well-being of the individual rather than the wellness alone, because it's just a temporary relief for the organization if you focus on the wellness. Well-being talks about a lifelong remedy for the organizations to have a productive and happy workforce. Now when it comes to future, in the future, we would have seen in the COVID scenario, lots of the organizations have engaged their workforce in remote. That is, you find the work home option has been enabled, and most of them tend to work at home, and they tend to work for a longer period. They don't even have time to interact with others. They don't even have time to share their feelings and other things. So the employer should understand, and he should be really empathetic enough to check their mental health, as well as you need to consider the other quotient or the dimensions of well-being. So this says that you need to be more open enough, you need to be more empathetic, you need to be more understanding, and you need to create a policy and promote a culture that brings in holistic well-being rather than just conducting health surveys and fitness activities. So in future, the more the diversified group you bring into the organization, the more the well-being has to be taken care. So with this, I'll just stop my slide. Thank you all for providing this opportunity. If you have any questions, you can throw it now.
Thank you very much, Mohana ma'am, for your nice presentation. It was very informative and something new to listen also. So the participants, you can unmute your mics to ask your questions to Mohana ma'am, or put your questions in the chat box. We can take it forward. Thank you. Ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is Chandra, ma'am, and I have a question. Either it be a big industry or small industry or a business or anything, what, in your opinion, could be the minimum things that a company can take care of the employees for their well-being? Minimum, at least, because the privileges are not the same irrespective of the companies. But what could be the minimum care the company can take over the employee?
Okay. See, you mean to say that they don't want to invest more cost on this well-being aspect. At the same time, they want to ensure that well-being is being taken care. So, in my perspective, I would recommend that you need to create an atmosphere or a culture where everyone, spends at least a few minutes, to talk and have a bond, a friendship. You need to create a bond that will take care of your, all your problems and feel relaxed. If people are going to be remain as robots or they tend to work ideal. I don't think the well-being is, being addressed. In today's generation, all of us are so focused on work, and we try to skip on eating on time. We try to, focus on our family, spending more time on our family. We skip on, meeting our friends. We skip on different things which we tend to follow in the past. A typical example I can tell you, those days we had a culture where everyone had an opportunity to say hi, hello, you know, in the workplace, where we tend to meet each other. At least we spend around 1 or 2 minutes to share our, both personal or professional things which we need to, share, and we tend to free relax. Need not necessarily you need to have to follow meditation or any type of yoga or a kind of exercise. It's just sharing your worries, or sharing your inner things, what you would like. If you share it, I think half of the problems will solve. And another thing is, like, there are a lot of exercises you can bring in into the organization without spending money. Like, we have a simple thing called as dance, or bring about some competition among your team, in which that promotes a kind of situation where everyone creates a bonding, and you tend to feel highly relaxed and motivated. So if you do at least in a month, I feel that is a cost effective and much more beneficial thing to the employees.
Thank you, ma'am. So participants, if you have any questions, please do unmute your mics and you can ask your question. Ma'am, it seems there isn't any question from the participants yet. And we can take that you have made everything clear with a simple and nice concept of explaining how the employees' well-being has to be taken care of. So with this, I would like to...
Dr. Subish,
Yeah, ma'am. Do you have something to say, ma'am? Yeah, ma'am. I'm inviting you to give your words of vote of thanks for our Mohan. Yeah.
so much. And informative presentation on employee welfare and well-being, and you have given very apt practical examples too. Thank you so much for your experience, as well as in the teaching and as well as from the industrial relations. I could see that you were able to relate it very well, and I'm really grateful from the Department of Psychology, American as well as Psycho-Oncology Association, Turkey, as well as the plays in I'm really thankful for the sessions you have handled. It was very nice also. Thank you, Mohana, for that wonderful contribution, and we'll look forward and another wonderful session from you. So
Thank you so much, ma'am. In fact, I would like to thank Dr. Subhashri, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity, as well as the organizing team from American College. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
so much, ma'am.